We did a bake shop, we did, delivery service, we operated, a huge free online party for Melbourne with the avalanches, which 15,000 people tuned into. We opened a soup kitchen for out-of-work hospitality workers. We started a t-shirt company and sold 10,000 t-shirts. We opened a pottery studio, and the list goes on. Eventually, we would open a pop-up restaurant. But really, this time was kind of like flying a kite in business. Sometimes there was lots of wind and you'd go great, but it was feast or famine. Sometimes it would crash. And I really knew that to get ourselves out of this hole, that we would need one more big move. So one day, I find myself with my 3 children and Kylie on an exercise walk in Chadstone shopping mall. This is a weird time where you can go to Chadstone for exercise. The mall is almost completely closed, and we're walking around the mall, we're getting up our steps. There's nobody there, there's very few shops open, and we walk past Gucci. Now, oddly, Gucci is open. If you've been to Gucci in Chadstone, you'd know that it always has a line. Today, on this day, not only was there no line, there were no customers. The sales assistants were standing sort of straight like sentries guarding the palace. And I walked past and I observed this. I thought, that's so odd. We kept on walking. We got our steps up. Eventually, we make our way around to the other side of the mall, to Kmart. Not only does Kmart have an enormous line of about 200 people waiting to get in, it's full capacity at about 300. And in that moment, in that winter of March 2020, I saw a complete business plan. Attica was at the Gucci end of the scale, and to survive, Attica was going to need to be at the Kmart end of the scale. And I hatched a plan for a new type of restaurant called Attica Summer Camp. And it would be more affordable, it would be uplifting, it would be out of the city because we'd all been locked down and we didn't want to be there anymore. It would be outside, and it would be tons of fun. And we found a disused site, a closed-down winery site, and I went out there, and for 4 months I built the restaurant by myself. And because there was no time to open properly or anything like that, we assembled the most ragtag team of hospitality workers in the history of restaurants. Anybody who wanted a job got a job. And because Attica was running now at half capacity and bleeding unprecedented amounts of money, about $75,000 a week, we couldn't take anybody from that restaurant. So Kylie and I went out there with one other key member of staff. And it was an extraordinary experience because we worked with those people, we stood with them, we supported them, we believed in them, we treated them well. And in return, they became the greatest team of my life. And some of the greatest stories of overcoming, of people believing in each other and supporting each other happened there.